Welcome to the Deep Dive. We take one source, unpack it, and really get to the core.
That's the plan.
So today, we're looking at Ann Napolitano's Hello, Beautiful. It's subtitled A Family's Embrace and Fractures.
Right, and that subtitle really tells you a lot. It's about love, mistakes, forgiveness, the whole package within a family.
And it centers around William, this young guy who, well, didn't have much love early on.
Yeah, a really tough start. But then he finds the Padavano family. It's this explosion of warmth, basically. Julia and her 3 sisters.
Big family. Julia, Sylvie, and then the twins, Cecilia and Emmeline.
And William gets drawn right in.
So our deep dive today is really about figuring out those family dynamics, especially, how Julia stands out, maybe contrasts with her sisters, and William's journey too.
Let's break down the sisters first, maybe.
Good idea. So Julia's the oldest. The review we saw called her the linchpin. Seemed confident, maybe a bit controlling.
That's the impression. Then there's Sylvie, who's really close to Julia. She's the book lover, maybe a bit more unconventional in her thinking.
Okay, and the twins?
Cecilia, she's the artist, and Emmeline is more the nurturer, the homebody type. A classic contrast there.
So you've got this really lively, warm household, and William steps into this.
Exactly. And for him, coming from, such a loveless background, their affection is huge. It changes him.
It connects particularly strongly with Julia, right?
Yes, that bond is central, especially at the beginning. It seems almost magnetic.
But there's always a but, isn't there?
Almost always in these stories. William's past, that early pain, it doesn't just disappear. And eventually his actions stemming from that pain cause a massive rift. It basically fractures the family bond and scatters the sisters.
Oof. Okay, so let's talk about how the reviewer saw the sisters after all this unfolds.
Yeah.
They really seem to love Sylvie, Cecilia, and Emmeline.
Oh, absolutely. Describe them as really well-developed, full of life. They felt that sisterly bond, that enduring love between those 3 was like the heart of the book.
Right, the emotional core. But Julia, it sounds like the reviewer had a very different reaction to her.
Yeah, quite different. The phrase used was a brittle figurine, just couldn't connect.
Brittle figurine, wow. Why? What was the issue?
The perception was that she came across as, well, self-absorbed, judgmental, and crucially unwilling to take responsibility for her part in things.
That's tough for a main character. Did the reviewer feel the author tried to explain her actions?
Yes, they mentioned the author framing some of Julia's behavior as a kind of defiance of centuries of misogyny.
Okay, like fighting against traditional expectations.
Sort of, but the reviewer felt that justification just didn't quite fit here. It felt misapplied, especially when you think about mental health aspects in the story and maybe a lack of compassion from Julia herself.
So the justification didn't land, essentially.
Not for this reviewer, no. It felt a bit forced in the context of her specific actions.
Interesting. But despite this really strong negative reaction to Julia, the reviewers still liked the book overall.
Yeah, which is fascinating, isn't it? They praised Napolitano's writing itself, especially how rich and insightful the portrayal of the other characters was, the supporting cast, their everyday lives.
The world felt real, even if one character was difficult.
Exactly. That realness, that depth in the broader picture, apparently made the novel really captivating anyway.
So you end up with this tension, this really radiant portrayal of sisterly love. Sylvie the twins, set against Julia, who's just hard to warm up to for some readers.
That seems to be the central push and pull, yeah.
And the reviewer's takeaway was, despite maybe not loving Julia, the sheer authenticity and richness of everyone else makes Hello, Beautiful a worthwhile read.
That was the conclusion, an enriching experience because of the overall depth, even with that challenging central character.
It really makes you think, doesn't it? How we react so differently to characters in a story. One person's difficult characters, another's complex anti-hero, maybe.
Or maybe just difficult. It says a lot about us as readers and about how authors craft these intricate human portraits.
Definitely something to chew on. What makes us connect or disconnect?
Indeed. Food for thought until next time.
This has been The Deep Dive.